In 2015, the FBI took down a massive criminal enterprise. This operation, known as Operation Maple Leaf, targeted organized crime groups operating in Canada and the United States. These groups were involved in drug trafficking and money laundering, making huge profits from their illegal activities. Operation Maple Leaf was a complex and dangerous undertaking. It required the FBI to use all its resources and expertise to bring these criminals to justice. The operation was a success, resulting in numerous arrests and seizures of drugs and money. Operation Maple Leaf is a testament to the dedication and skill of the FBI. It is also a reminder that organized crime is a serious problem that requires a coordinated effort to combat. Organized crime groups are a threat to our communities. They are involved in a wide range of criminal activities, including drug trafficking, money laundering, extortion, and violence. These groups are often sophisticated and well-funded, making them difficult to investigate and prosecute. Drug trafficking is a major problem in both Canada and the United States. Organized crime groups are responsible for smuggling large quantities of drugs into our countries. These drugs have a devastating impact on our communities, leading to addiction, crime, and violence. Money laundering is another serious problem associated with organized crime. This is the process of concealing the illegal source of money. Organized crime groups use a variety of methods to launder money, such as investing in legitimate businesses, purchasing real estate, and transferring money through offshore accounts. The FBI used a variety of investigative techniques to target the organized crime groups involved in Operation Maple Leaf. These techniques included undercover operations, surveillance, wiretaps, and informants. Undercover operations involved FBI agents infiltrating the criminal organizations, posing as criminals themselves. Surveillance was another important part of the investigation. FBI agents conducted physical surveillance on the suspects, as well as electronic surveillance, such as wiretaps and tracking devices. Wiretaps allowed the FBI to intercept the suspects' phone calls and emails, providing valuable evidence of their criminal activities. Informants also played a key role in the investigation. Informants are individuals who provide information to law enforcement in exchange for money or leniency in their own criminal cases. The FBI carefully cultivated informants within the criminal organizations, who provided valuable information about the group's activities and plans.
Breaking news.
Operation Maple Leaf resulted in a number of significant breakthroughs that helped to dismantle the criminal network. One major breakthrough was the identification of the key players in the organization. Through their investigation, the FBI was able to identify the leaders of the criminal groups, as well as their key associates. Another major breakthrough was the discovery of the group's methods of operation. The FBI was able to learn how the groups were smuggling drugs into the country, how they were laundering their money, and how they were communicating with each other. This information was crucial in building a case against the suspects. The FBI also made significant progress in understanding the group's financial operations. By tracing the flow of money, the FBI was able to identify the group's assets and how they were being used to finance their criminal activities. This information was essential in obtaining seizure orders for the group's assets. Section 5. Tough obstacles, challenges along the way. The FBI faced a number of challenges during Operation Maple Leaf. One of the biggest challenges was the complex and sophisticated nature of the criminal organization. The groups involved were well organized, well funded, and had connections to corrupt officials. This made it difficult for the FBI to penetrate the organization and gather evidence. Another challenge was the dangerous nature of the investigation. The suspects were involved in drug trafficking and other violent crimes, and they were not afraid to use violence to protect their interests. This meant that the FBI agents involved in the investigation were putting their lives at risk. The FBI also faced challenges in coordinating the investigation with law enforcement agencies in Canada. The criminal organization was operating in both countries, so it was essential for the FBI to work closely with their Canadian counterparts. However, this cooperation was not always easy, as there were differences in laws and procedures between the two countries. Section 6. Justice served, arrests and seizures. Operation Maple Leaf culminated in a series of coordinated raids in Canada and the United States. These raids resulted in the arrest of numerous individuals associated with the criminal organization. The arrests sent shockwaves through the criminal underworld, disrupting the organization's operations. In addition to the arrests, law enforcement agencies seized a significant amount of drugs and money during the raids. The seizures represented a major financial blow to the criminal organization, crippling their ability to operate. The seized assets were forfeited to the government and used to support law enforcement efforts. The success of Operation Maple Leaf was due in large part to the cooperation and coordination between law enforcement agencies in Canada and the United States. The operation demonstrated the importance of international cooperation in combating transnational organized crime. Section 7. Operation Maple Leaf's legacy making a difference. Operation Maple Leaf had a significant impact on organized crime in Canada and the United States. The operation disrupted the operations of a major criminal organization, leading to a decrease in drug trafficking and money laundering activities. The arrests and seizures sent a strong message to other criminal organizations that law enforcement was cracking down on their activities. The operation also highlighted the importance of international cooperation in combating transnational organized crime. The success of Operation Maple Leaf was due in large part to the close cooperation between law enforcement agencies in Canada and the United States. This cooperation allowed for the sharing of intelligence, resources, and expertise, which was essential in bringing down the criminal organization. Operation Maple Leaf also led to a number of important reforms within law enforcement agencies. The operation highlighted the need for better intelligence gathering and analysis, as well as improved coordination and communication between agencies. These reforms have helped to make law enforcement agencies more effective in combating organized crime. Section 8. The Future of Fighting Crime Lessons Learned. Operation Maple Leaf provided valuable lessons for law enforcement agencies in their ongoing fight against organized crime. One of the key lessons learned was the importance of early detection and intervention. By identifying and targeting criminal organizations in their early stages, law enforcement can prevent them from becoming more established and powerful. Another important lesson was the need for a multi-agency approach. Organized crime groups often operate across jurisdictional boundaries, so it is essential for law enforcement agencies to work together to share information and resources. This requires strong partnerships and collaboration between local, state, federal, and international agencies. Operation Maple Leaf also highlighted the importance of using technology to combat organized crime. Law enforcement agencies are increasingly using sophisticated technology, such as surveillance equipment, data analysis tools, and cybercrime investigative techniques, to track criminal activity and gather evidence. Section 9. International Cooperation, Working Together for Safety. Operation Maple Leaf highlighted the importance of international cooperation in combating transnational organized crime. Criminal organizations often operate across borders, exploiting differences in laws and regulations. Effective combat requires law enforcement agencies to share information, resources, and expertise. International cooperation includes bilateral agreements, multilateral treaties, and informal partnerships. Bilateral agreements focus on specific law enforcement matters like extradition. Multilateral treaties address common issues like drug trafficking. Informal partnerships tackle specific threats or investigations. Section 10. Staying one step ahead, adapting to new threats. Organized crime is constantly evolving, adapting to new technologies and exploiting vulnerabilities in the global financial system. To stay one step ahead of these criminals, law enforcement agencies must be equally adaptable, constantly updating their tactics and strategies. One of the most significant challenges facing law enforcement is the rise of cybercrime. Organized crime groups are increasingly using the internet to commit a wide range of crimes, including fraud, extortion, money laundering, and drug trafficking. Cybercrime is often difficult to investigate and prosecute, as it can be committed from anywhere in the world and often involves sophisticated technical skills. Another challenge is the increasing globalization of organized crime. Criminal organizations are no longer confined to specific geographic areas. They are now operating across borders and continents. This makes it more difficult for law enforcement agencies to track their activities and bring them to justice. Section 11. Conclusion: the fight goes on. Operation Maple Leaf was a major victory, but it was just one battle in a larger war. Organized crime remains a significant threat to our communities. By working together and sharing information, we can make our communities safer. The fight against organized crime is a marathon, not a sprint. It requires patience, persistence, and an unwavering commitment to justice. But it is a fight that we cannot afford to lose.